So, what's the recovery time if you close your wallet to a particular creator or a company for whatever reason? And this is not a video to kind of debate whether those reasons are valid or invalid or what those reasons are. Ultimately, those reasons are yours. But what's the path of recovery for you? What is the place where you open up your wallet again? You start to feel good about collecting something where you previously didn't. What's that path back look like? Everybody, this is Perch. You'll see a lot. You see it in comments for my videos, for other videos. You see it on social media. You see it on message boards. I see it in news articles when there's comments turned on of fans who are basically they're coming onto an article, and I don't quite understand this part. So maybe somebody can explain it to me. But like, for example, there was some articles around Donny Cates's new book, which is free. Or no, sorry, it's not free. It's pay what you want to pay. So it can be free, or you could pay, $1,000 for that comic, whatever it happens to be. This digital first book. And I'm looking now, not on my videos, but other sites, news sites like Newsarama, and you see this announcement come out, and you see some people in the comments saying, "My wallet is closed to Donny Cates. He's rude to customers, and I'm not gonna. I refuse to buy anything he does." So my first question there is like, why bother making that statement in an article about Donny Cates? Like, if your wallet's closed, I think your attention should probably also be closed, right? Like if you truly want to cut this guy out of your life because you're annoyed by how he behaves online, then why are you reading news articles about that guy? I just have that kind of question out there, and it's not a gotcha for anyone because my policy, and by the way, this policy on a regular basis irritates all people. It irritates all comic fans of all types. And my policy is this: you, the person listening to this, you as an individual, you've got money, and you are going to spend that money on comics, and you should only be spending money on comics that you want to buy, meaning you should feel good about your purchase. It's your cash. I don't get to tell you how to spend your cash. Nobody does. If you, I've seen people saying, okay, you're a rube if you're spending $25 on a crowdfunded book like Cyberfrog. You're a rube for doing that, but it's your $25. So if you pay for that and you feel like, yes, this was $25 I wanted to spend, I feel good about it, then you're not a rube. You're spending the money you want to. It's your money. You get to do what you want. At the same time, if you say, I refuse to pay $25 for Cyberfrog, or I refuse to pay $4.99 for this Marvel comic, or whatever it happens to be, your reasons for not spending your money, to me, are irrelevant. I don't really care. It's your cash, and the 100% choice of what to do with that cash is yours. I mean, let's say there's too much of the color purple on the cover of the comic, and you don't like the color purple, and so you're not going to buy comics with lots of purple in them. That's a crazy reason, but that's your reason. And I can have my own thoughts about whether that reason is valid or not, but at the end of the day, it's your money. And so the thing that trumps above all else, for me anyway, is, the person who's earned the money gets to spend that money however they want, whether they're spending it for virtue signaling or whether they're not spending it for issues of boredom or racism, whatever it happens to be. It's still your money. You can do whatever you want with it. And I think if you come to accept that, at least for me anyway, if you come to fully accept that idea as fact, I don't know. I think you get a lot happier. I, I get a lot happier because I stopped worrying about how other people are spending their money. But to the question I asked to kind of lead into this video, if you have decided for whatever reason that you don't want to buy a particular comic by a creator, I'll do one that's a little bit more on the nose. So Rick Remender, his work is doing comics, his own comics for Image, creator owned. He's got Scumbag out right now, just came out, and he has other books that he does. But in his release of Scumbag, a lot of people took the stance. Well, not a lot of people. Sorry, more. I don't want to say this. Dozens of people on social media that I saw personally, and that on the video I did reviewing the book, said I won't open my wallet to him because he said Trump voters should get out. Don't buy my book. Don't support me. I don't want to see you Trump voters basically in my feed. You're no customer of mine. Get out. I don't want your business. And so people said, okay, challenge accepted. You don't get my business. To me, that's I think there's not a lot of drama or controversy around that back and forth. He said, I don't want your money. People said, I'm not going to give you your money. Case closed. In my personal opinion, always is that if you are Rick Remender or you're whoever, that insulting part of your potential fan base, your potential customer list, or telling them to get out is a risky strategy. Now, if you truly don't need their money, you don't care, more power to you. Again, it's kind of like the other way around. It's your wallet at the end of the day. It's people buying your comic. It's profits not going into your pocket. If you choose to say, hey, look, of the available audience, this 20%, 30%, 40%, whatever it happens to be, I'm willing to make 20, 30, 40% less because, I want to take this stance. That's your choice as a creator. I think, by the way, just as an aside, and maybe this is another video, so I'll just tease it here and I'll do it more later. I do think there's a little bit of a dodgy game that goes on where creators sometimes feel comfortable insulting their customer base or saying, I don't need your money, because they know they're not selling to those customers. They're selling to comic shops, many of whom are not paying attention to any of this. And they know they're going to get their money regardless because the comic shops are going to order it. And if the comic shops don't sell through on the comic because the creator has made people mad, it's, that's not their problem. I've heard that opinion expressed, so we'll get into that more another time. But anyway, regardless of all that, let's say you're one of these customers. You say, I'm not buying Rick Remender's stuff. He insulted me. I'm a Trump supporter, and screw it. No, you're not getting any of my cash. What would have to change in order for you to buy a Rick Remender book again? Would it take a apology, the creator coming out going, hey, you know what, I was wrong. Customers are customers. I shouldn't do this. Mea culpa. Sorry. Is it that maybe the hook? He comes out with a story that just sounds too good to be true. So or not too good to be true, but just too good, I guess. And you say, all right, even though I despise this guy's politics and I think he was rude to his customers, I can't, probably the most famous thing Remender's done, I don't know, his run on X-Force. So let's say Marvel picks up X-Force Volume 2 or another run of X-Force by Rick Remender. It's like, I'm going to make it even bigger and better than the last one. Jump in. And you're a huge X-Men fan, but you can't stand his stance. Do you swallow your pride at that point? Do you go, well, I don't feel completely good about this, but, I am a completist for X-Force, so I'm going to buy it. What kind of things cause you to change your mind and basically come back into comics? Because a lot of time gets spent talking about the stance of my wallet is closed, but not a lot of time gets talked about, not a lot of airtime to what it would take for conditions to change. And maybe I'm just crazy here, but I think that in some cases, well, I know for a fact there's a few. There's some creators who took this stance, basically in the heat of the moment, said, I don't want any Trump money, so you fans get out of here. And then they've regretted it in hindsight. Maybe because, the sales went down. Probably not. I think probably it's just somebody realized they sounded like a crazy a-hole and, they want to take a different stance. Maybe it's the publisher that they were trying to work for going, hey, because I know again for a fact that Marvel in particular has told a couple of their creators, look, you need to tone that down. Even if we agree with you in some cases politically, you can't do that to customers. I know for a fact that's happened behind the scenes. So maybe the creator's like, all right, well, now I want to, now I need to reach back out to this customer base. How do they do it? How do they get you to open up your wallet again? Or is it closed forever? I have my doubts that anything is closed forever because there's a ton of people out there, and it'd be a douche move to go on and kind of say, hey, I thought, who made these statements like, nope, thanks to DC doing this with Tom King and supporting this guy who I hate, my wallet's closed to DC. And then 2 months later, they're going, yeah, I picked up 3 Jokers and it was pretty good. So, things change. And again, I'm not trying to mock you if it changed. In fact, I quite the opposite. I want to know why it changed. What caused it to change for you? For me personally, I've definitely made this decision at different times. Somebody makes me mad, in not just comics, but all things. Have you, uh, generally speaking, there's been times when companies have done things. I'm like, I'm never doing business with this company again. The end. And then sometimes, it's stuck. Uh, there's a, there's a local establishment here in the Pacific Northwest called Tully's Coffee, and Tully's did some things that went kind of above and beyond the antagonistic business, both in my business and me as a customer. And when I reached out to try and get some resolution, I got a snotty, nasty answer from the company. And I said, okay, I'm completely done. I'm not going to support this. I'm never getting coffee here again. There's lots of other, I'm in Seattle. I can throw a rock and hit 50 coffee shops from where I stand. So I'm never doing business again. And I stopped. On the other end, I remember Albertsons being super pissed at that grocery store for basically cheating me out of some stuff. And then when I went to go say, hey, you charged me $100 for these apples. It should have cost two. Them saying, well, buyer beware. You should have looked more closely at your receipt. Your problem. And I'm like, all right, I'm not doing business again. And then, 10 years later, I'm like, all right, I need to go to the grocery store. And I went in and I'm going to watch my receipt. And hey, I was treated a little nicer. So maybe, things change. Time heals wounds, so to speak. So, what is it for you? Leave a comment below. I'd like to know your thoughts. What would cause you to open up your wallet again, get back on the buying train with someone who previously had, you know, pushed you into a I won't buy again decision? Let me know in the comments below. Like, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, all that kind of stuff. Make sure you're still subscribed in case you're not. Always happy. We're veering in on 7,000. In fact, by the time this goes out, maybe we'll be at 7,000, probably close to it. I can't tell you how. What's the word here I want to use? Definitely honored, but just I feel very humbled by the support this channel gets. I do not. I just don't. I can't picture myself as having that many people who have signed up to want to be part of this. I'm always surprised by people who show up to live streams. It's just not. I don't take any of this for granted, and so I'm always very thankful to all of you for your support. Even if you absolutely hate what I talk about, I appreciate that you come by and give me a chance anyway. That's that it says a lot, and I'm very very humbled by your support over the years. So thank you for listening.